Hi, Eric. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
I have some short questions about Vow, the Vow ecosystem, and the last network and everything. And I'm really curious about your short answers. Vow is
Vow is an economic model.
the architect of Vow.
I would say Bish Smear, but with a team. He has a team of people that have thought this through.
The goal of Vow.
Planetary adoption of cryptocurrency, improvement of the standard of living for humanity, the shifting of the balance of power in the world. There's a lot of goals that Vow has.
The role of cashback in Vow.
I think cashback is an older system that will be basically fade away. I mean, cashback was actual money given back, right? It's the traditional existing model. Vow is the next step.
What's the difference?
It's a good question. The difference is that in one case, you're giving back money which everyone understands to be real, but actually isn't. And in the second case, in the later case, you're giving back money which not everyone understands to be real, but which is as real as real cash. Because reality is a subjective thing. And the mechanism of Vow is to convert something which the audience currently doesn't think of as exactly real to a point where the audience is convinced it is real, right? So this is really about perception.
So next question, how come Vow token or the vCurrencies widely adopted?
So the answer to that question lies in understanding two forms of value. The first is what we might call an asset, and the other one is called money. Vow and Bitcoin are both assets, which means that they have a price with respect to money, right? Whether it be dollars or euros or whatever. We tend to think of assets in terms of money, and money is the sort of unit of account that we use for everything. You know, what's the price of a dozen eggs? What's the price of a house? What's the price of Bitcoin and Vow? When we think about the reality of one of these two things, it's a different dynamic. If we say, is Bitcoin real? Well, of course it's real, right? And its price is this, and we basically take that on at face value, right? It is that because that's what the market says. End of story. But when we think about dollars, we never really think about valuation. We might think about it in terms of euros or ringgits or rubles, and we generally understand that you know, there's reasons why these things shift with respect to each other, but we remain certain of the value of the dollar. What's a dollar worth? In fact, nobody actually knows. You could measure it in terms of eggs or, you know, houses or things like that, but that's reversing the perspective. We mostly think of assets as being priced in dollars, not of dollars being priced in assets, right? So when you introduce a Vow dollar, a V dollar, it isn't any form of dollar that we currently know, right? We know printed dollars in our pockets. We know dollars in the bank account. We even know dollars in Venmo and PayPal and things like that, right? But we don't know really tokens in a crypto wallet. We think of crypto as assets primarily. And now here is an asset that looks an awful lot like money, and we're still a little unsure. When people come to the comprehension that V dollars really are dollars, and here's the reason why they are dollars. What makes the dollar a dollar, what makes the dollar valuable as money, not as an asset, is the acceptability of the dollar by all merchants. I can always spend my dollar, and even if I don't go to a store to do this, I can give it to you and you will accept it. You will say, oh, you gave me $1. That's really kind of you, right? And you accept it as a dollar, whatever that means. Our work in Vow is to create a large enough network of merchants and to penetrate the supply chain so that the merchants can work up the supply chain, right? The restaurant to the baker to the mill, the mill to the farm, all the way through, such that there is no question that the V dollars will be accepted at face value, which is sort of nominally to say $1. And at that point, a V dollar becomes $1. So the only difference then between $1 and a V dollar is who is issuing it. In the one case, it's the Federal Reserve. In the other case, it's a network of merchants. And of course, the reasons for its issuance, right? So, so that rather than closed door meetings with very powerful few people and agendas that have to do with scary things, we issue as a function of demand. There's greater demand for money, more money gets printed, right? And of course, the benefit aspect of it. When the money gets printed, who does it get given to? And the answer is it gets given to the guy on the ground, right? As a proof of transaction network, we never hand the money to the institutions, to the merchants. We hand them directly to the customer. So it benefits the public at large. It benefits humanity. So that, I think, is the little bit of magic that is about to happen. Once people start thinking of V dollars as dollars and they don't give it a second thought, then we have created something truly powerful.
You already mentioned the benefits for customers in that it's directly given to them and they can reuse it in different ways, however they want to use it, if they first accepted it in their minds. What are the benefits for companies that can or should want to join?
Oh, that's actually easy. The most immediate benefit, the fastest to come benefit is the fact that their current loyalty rewards programs can essentially eliminate their costs altogether. So right now, when a company wants to issue points or cashbacks or rebates or loyalty rewards points or discounts, there's many forms of this stuff. They basically have to write off a certain amount of money in their balance sheets as marketing expenses, typically, right? And that lowers the profitability of the company. With Vow, they get to keep that money, all 100% of it, and still give the customer a discount or this additional value. Over the longer term, it also gives them a competitive advantage over the customers over their competitors, because those competitors are still in the old cashback model where they're giving away real money, what we right now call real money. They're giving that away. And so the new merchants that are giving away V dollars when the V dollars cost them nothing can afford to give more discounts and to discount items more deeply and more consistently than their competitors, and therefore the competitors suffer, right? Eventually, the competitors will have to adopt or die. And between the merchants that are in the ecosystem, there is still competition. which means that Vow will drive the price of items to zero. Eventually, everything becomes free.